Hello, this is Craig Berzinsky for Beardbrand Alliance. I'm a walking Wikipedia when it comes to beards, so people think. Stay tuned as I talk about the 3 most common questions I get about my beard. So number 1 question is, how do I get my beard straight? And so how do I relax my beard? How do I get it looking tame? And so I often just point people to our YouTube channel, and I point them to this particular video where I talk about how to use a hairdryer, how to use a round brush, the Berzinsky method on how to control the beard. A number of guys tell me, you know, my beard's growing wider, I cut off strays, I'm doing this daily, and they're actually not helping the problem. It's actually easier to coax a beard that is more uniform in length into a straighter presentation if you have a little more hair. The shorter your hair is, the more likely it is to curl up. As the hair gets longer, the weight of the hair tends to relax it, and just having hair on your head a little longer can also relax the hair. So encourage people always to not be trimming stray hairs that are sticking out, and to use the heat of a hairdryer with a round brush in order to control some of those things. So my beard is pretty naturally straight. Today, 100% natural beard. I actually put styling balm on it, and that's it. So the front of my beard, as a lot of you know, is pretty smooth compared to the sides, which have a little bit of texture. But for the most part, this is my natural beard presentation. But there seems to be a trend in certain cultures, in certain groups, in certain countries, to get the beard as straight as possible. And a lot of these guys are looking at a very curly beard and trying to get it as smooth and straight as possible. So that's a fashion choice that a lot of men are making. I would probably be on the other side of that channel, wanting my beard to be a little more curly and to looking a little more what I think a natural beard looks like. There are certain cultures where straight hair, or certain ethnic groups where straight hair is just hereditary. You might have smoother straight hair as part of just your genetic makeup, as is my case. But there's definitely trending where guys are trying to get their beards straight. Second question that I'm currently getting now is related to patches. I get this question a lot. It was probably number 4 previously when I made this list. And I get asked a lot in person and on when we were riding the subway previously, non-pandemic, and also in social media, guys asking for advice on how to deal with a patchy beard. Now, there's a lot of guys who say, oh, I have these disconnect here and I have areas here. Recently, Carlos made a video where he pointed out that he has, some sparseness underneath the sides of his lip, next to the soul patch, and a little disconnect on the side of his mustache from his beard. Looking at Carlos, you would never say the guy has a patchy beard. And, there's certain things that on certain guys, and it seems to be a lot, the more and more I look at a lot of men, areas around here are probably one of the last things to fill in, or that you're never going to get hair here. And it seems to be not so much related to it being patchy as related to a beard pattern. So making a distinction from a patchy beard to a distinct beard pattern. This is also one of the areas too. On mine, this continues down and then travels across the bottom of my jawline, which I would say is not a beard pattern as much as having those patches. So my question to these guys are, what kind of patches do you have? If it's this and this, I say beard pattern, don't have to do much about that. I think it looks good. It can actually set off a mustache, especially. It can set off a goatee, or it can set off a soul patch. It can be a very good look. Now, if you have patches that are within your beard, that's where I think a lot of men are coming from, where they are coming from. They have patches that they want to deal with. And I still go back to my method of with heat and a comb or with a brush, trying to cover up as many of those areas as possible. Some of these other guys will ask, I don't have a lot of coverage on my cheeks, so I have a general lack of coverage, which they're reading as a patchy beard. A lot of men will have very strong chin straps, a lot of hair related on the chin, as my son Victor does, or coming up here, and as it comes up the cheek, it may get a little thinner. So if you have heavy coverage, medium coverage, light coverage in this area, no coverage, and you have this lightness, it makes your beard look like it is a chin strap or headed towards a chin strap. I say don't hesitate to actually line your cheeks down to the point where you have medium coverage. So if you're thin and sparse at the top, you can bring your lines down. Moving that line down is really related to how much hair you have on your cheeks. So if you have a high natural line, you might want to leave it up there. But if you're sparse through here, it seems counterintuitive, but you can actually take that line down a little bit to where the hair gets thicker. And then the contrast between your smooth skin and the thicker hair is going to make your beard look generally thicker. So give it a try. So the question is, I seem to be losing a lot more hair in my beard. I have beard fall, I am losing beard hair, and I don't know why I wasn't losing beard hair, say 3 months ago, 4 months ago. The question or the statement is, you were losing hair 3 months ago. It was just shorter and you didn't notice it as much. So if you look at the same amount of hairs here, say we're going to look at 30 beard hairs that are a ½ inch long, saying 1 month of growth, and we compare that to 30 3-inch beard hairs, which are what a 6-month beard looks like. And the volume between that early beard and your current beard makes it look like there's a considerable amount of hair that you're losing. It's really the same number of hairs, it's just greater volume given the length, not the quantity. On average, most men have about 100,000 hairs on their head, and you will shed anywhere up to 100 hairs a day. On your beard, you have about 30,000 follicles, and you will lose proportionally about the same amount of hairs, which is about 30 beard hairs in the 30,000. So you have about the same concentration of hair, and you don't lose less or more beard hair. You lose about the same whether you do it on your head or on your beard. So use that number, if you have a lot of hair or if you have less hair, proportionally, that's where you want to think of. At the low end, if you don't have a lot of beard coverage and you're losing 20, average. If you have a lot of hair and you're losing, say, 40, probably average. If you start losing more hair than that, whether it be on your scalp at about 100, 150, 200 or plus, and you start losing more than 30 or 40 or 50 hairs on your beard, there may be something medical related. And there's lots of things that can affect that. Stress is the #1 killer on beard and hair. Heredity is in the mix also, and just general shedding. Our beard hairs are just like our head hairs. They go through the 3 stages of hair growth, and so they're growing for a period of time, and that might be, in some young men's cases, 2 months, and on more mature beards, that might be 7 years. So it really depends on your terminal length of your beard. So on average, I would say most guys' beards start going terminal at about 1 year or 2 at the most. And so it's really looking at the lengths of those hairs that are falling out. And then when you're collecting that, so if you have a big, massive, gnarly, yeared or tweered, and you have 12-inch hairs, and you start looking at 30 12-inch hairs laying in the sink, it looks like a ton of hair. I know that given my own head hair. Some of the hair on my head is 16 plus inches. And if I'm collecting 100 of those hairs that fell out over the course of a day, I look like I could make, I could start collecting that stuff and making wigs. It looks like a ton of hair. So the longer your hair is, the more likely it's going to look like you're losing a lot of hair. That's the current questions I'm getting related to beard straightening, related to beard patches, and related to excess beard loss in the terms of beard fall. One question I get, I didn't even put on the list because it's not really related to my beard, but the #1 question, this was back in the day, and this is right now, how old are you? And so I could actually say yesterday I was 58, but actually when you see this video, I will be 59 years old. #1 question I get, how old are you, Greg? Anyhow, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you turn on notifications. And if you like these videos and you find them helpful, and especially if it's related to beard straightening, if it's related to beard patches, if it's related to hair fall, send your friends our videos. Just cut and paste, send a friend a video, and they're going to thank you for it. Until we meet again.
Whoever knew sweat could smell so good? I did, because I've been using Beardbrand's new deodorant. Grab it at beardbrand.com.